Some things don't change. Oh, I think he BHS backward, like off completely there. The Dry Leaf Ash of War breaks shield. Problem with that is it breaks shields and it prevents you from getting the guard break as well. Like it breaks them so much that like it over breaks them. It breaks them, then it hits them, basically. Yeah, I remember testing that with, I think it was with Moaz? Oh, they're not here. I don't know, I thought this was going to be a... Whoa! Friend, alright. Don't know why I thought he was there. Let me just... Okay. Let's see here. You know what? I knew it. Not a bad idea, though. Not a bad idea. Maybe a little further. Too far. Too far? I'm good. I forgot how to get there, though. Well. Insane player. Oh, just took the blunt of the hit from teammate as well. Thank you. Okay. I actually forgot how to get where they were. How long before FromSoftware will no longer make Souls games? I think they'll always be making Souls games. Well, when I say Souls games, I mean, you know, not Dark Souls, but like they'll always be making like a Bloodborne, Elden Ring type stuff, you know. And they'll probably try to branch out, but I think they will always be making some sort of variation of that. I really highly doubt that they wouldn't. I mean, technically, even Night Rain is technically a Souls-like because it's basically Elden Ring, really, with like a different twist, but it's still pretty much the same mechanics. You just hope they stick to Armored Core too. I hope they figure out, like, you know, how to make proper Armored Core. I felt like they really hit it right with Verdict Day. But the problem is it came out at a time where no one really knew or cared about FromSoft nearly as much as people do now. So I doubt they would go back to what they did back then. because in their mind, you know, it was not a commercial success. It was probably a commercial failure, actually. Like, 5th generation of Armored Core, I'm sure didn't sell very well. But I don't think that had anything to do with the game itself. I just think that releasing a mecha game is just not going to sell all that well unless you made Elden Ring before that. Then, no matter what you make after that, people are gonna buy it, you know? 5th gen actually sold the most? Are you serious? It didn't sell more than AC6, no way. Out of all the previous gens? Okay, so you mean like before AC6, Gen 5 is the one that sold the most. Well, thanks for that. I didn't know that. I actually thought it didn't sell well. That's interesting. Yeah, because I played all the gens before that except actually, yeah, except Gen 1. I'd played all the generation of Armored Core except the PlayStation 1 version, because quite frankly, I didn't know Armored Core was a thing back in Gen 1. My first Armored Core was AC2. Really liked it. And from that point on, every time I saw an Armored Core game at the Blockbuster, I would always rent them and play them. And then the one that I played the most after that was like after Gen 2 and 3 was Armored Core 4 and then Forenser. And then I was really disappointed when the 5th generation came along, because it was nothing like 4 and Forenser, which I enjoyed quite a lot. But after giving it a shot for a little while, understanding the mechanics more, I can confidently say that the 5th generation was most definitely the most skillful one, the best one. Okay. That was clean. AC6 PvP was dog water, but the PvE was fun enough. Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. It feels like when you play AC6, it feels like so much love and effort was put into the game, yet someone in there at FromSoft just fucked up the base mechanic and wanted this to be casualized. I forgot the guy's name, but he even says it in an interview that the auto lock-on was a gift to new players for them to get accustomed to the game. Like they actually made this to be casual. If it wasn't for that, AC6 would be the best, like by every metric, but the PvP wasn't it because the base mechanics were ass. But the bosses were so good that even though they casualized the core mechanics, the boss battles were so good that it didn't even matter. It still played really well in PvE. I think that. You think it makes sense that they didn't blow up until they appealed to casuals? I don't think so. I don't really think that's actually what happened. I think no matter, like, you have to understand that the reason why FromSoft is big today is not the result of Elden Ring being Elden Ring. It's the result of Dark Souls 1 selling more than Demon Souls, Dark Souls 2 selling more than Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 3 selling more than Dark Souls 2. And like with all their games that came prior, they always delivered in each game. So the player base that played 1 definitely was going to play 2 and brought a little bit more players with that. And then the same thing happened. It was like an exponential curve to that point. And Elden Ring, because it went open world, was basically riding on all the success that they had previously. And because of all the marketing and the fact that it was open world and J.R.R. Martin being with it, like the whole build-up of Elden Ring made it like the perfect storm for people to believe that Elden Ring was going to be the next big thing. And quite frankly, the fact that the game was so big, like there's so much content, like the game is very, very generous with content. Just that alone made it so that it was a massive success. Keep in mind that most people playing Elden Ring have never played any of the other FromSoftware games before. So for the average player, getting introduced for the first time to FromSoftware Combat, which quite frankly, FromSoftware Combat is better than any other game out there, like action game in that genre. Like FromSoftware Combat is better than, you know, Monster Hunter fucking, maybe not Monster Hunter, but maybe let's say the Skyrim, like Bethesda games, let's say Dragon's Dogma. Like you can name a lot of action games that, or Assassin's Creed, any of the Ubisoft crap that's out there. Maybe not For Honor, but For Honor is trying to be something different. But like, you know what I mean? Like the combat for FromSoftware games compared to everything else that's out there, it's definitely like a lot better. So for the average player who's coming in here, you know, not knowing anything about Souls games, and they're getting introduced to this combat for the first time, they're like, holy shit, you know, this is good combat, this is fun. For us, for people who've played the previous games, we have a bit higher expectations because for us, these combat mechanics are not new. We've experienced Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3. We've experienced the build-up, all the trial and errors from the previous gens. And so we have a higher bar, and we know the mistakes and the good things that they've achieved in the previous games. So when they go backward in Elden Ring, when they solve X or Y issue in their previous games, we noticed that. The casuals don't notice it, but for instance, when Elden Ring came out and shields were broken, we were like, why would you get shields wrong? You've had shields right in Dark Souls 3. Like, how are you going backward? That's perfectly reasonable, and that's when casuals are angry because they're looking at the whole pack, like the general package, like the full experience as a whole, and they're like, why are you complaining? This is the best combat I've ever experienced. Whereas, you know, everyone is right here. It's just that the new players don't know any better, basically. Whereas the people who've played the previous games have a point of reference where FromSoftware has done things better in the past, like how they handled shield in previous generations. Unfortunately, though, that kind of blurs the good feedback for FromSoft because they look at Reddit, and because the majority of players have never experienced like the other Souls games, and they don't know necessarily like what would be a better outcome for these games, then the good feedback gets buried under the vocal majority of people who are basically ignorant. That's what it comes down to. And I know that devs can't make the difference because we had that experience, Steel and I, with Lords of the Fallen, when they had us like playtest the game, even though it didn't change anything because their multiplayer just straight up didn't work. Like their networking was basically completely busted. I mean, you guys know like the whole rubber banding and everything. So we end up not doing anything, but we gave them feedback for the roll distance, And we had to argue with them because they were getting conflicting feedback from other people. And because they didn't understand the game, just like FromSoft, they didn't know who to listen to. Ultimately, though, the most recent patch that came out, like not so long ago, they actually made roles closer to what Steel and I were asking before the game even came out. It took them like about a year and a half to get to that point with various feedback, whereas we gave them that answer like straight from the get-go, like from the very beginning, before the game even came out. We gave them the solution, but it took them a year and a half because they didn't know how shit worked. You know what I mean? So that's how developers are like have to deal with like all sorts of feedback, and when they don't necessarily play the game as much as the hardcore players, they don't understand the mechanic, and you get a situation where you can tell them the right answers, but it's gonna take them a year and a half to get to the same solution that we breastfeed them from the get-go. And it's not a thing with it's not a thing that's exclusive to Lords of the Fallen. Like FromSoftware falls in the same category. Like most developers fall in that. They don't necessarily play the game as much. Yeah, Lords wouldn't have hyper armor on big weapon if not. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that is insane when you think about it. Like a lot of decisions like that, it's not because the devs are stupid or because the devs, you know, don't want or want a certain direction. It's not even about that. It's just they don't play the game. They play it in a casual manner, like most casual players. So they have zero understanding of the game mechanics in their own game. And I guarantee you it's the same thing with FromSoft. Same exact thing. Genuinely though, I actually think that the only thing keeping like some sort of like I think Miyazaki is actually the one keeping these mechanics together. Like, genuinely, I feel like every time Miyazaki is involved with a project, at least the base combat stays to a point where it makes sense. Oh, Jesus Christ. Wow, insane block. There we go. One thing I've noticed here, I definitely need full goat deli. You'd love to see some Ring City Invasions? Dude, I have a whole backlog of like 5 years of Ring City Invasion. Just look up the channel, you'll find plenty. Yeah, honestly, like, jokes aside, I know Miyazaki is not, like, the gameplay person, but I feel like every time Miyazaki is involved, like, heavily with a game, that's the better game that FromSoftware makes. You know what I mean? Like, every time Miyazaki is directly responsible for a project, I feel like it's better than when it's someone else in the studio, like, gameplay-wise. So low-key, I think maybe Miyazaki is the reason why, you know, FromSoft is still making the mechanic, like, mostly appealing. I disagree. I don't think Dark Souls 2 is the best. I think DS3 is better than Dark Souls 2. And I say that, you know, people usually say, oh, you know, this one's the best when it's their first game. For me, Dark Souls 2 was my first Souls game, so. And it's not like I played a little bit. Like, I played over 1,000 hours of Dark Souls 2, mainly invading and PvPing. But I'll still say that Dark Souls 3 was most definitely better. Okay, since one of them has an UG, and I'm a filthy scrub, let's go TS. Some things don't change. Oh, I think he BHS backward, like, off completely there. Some things just don't change, guys. You want your medieval fantasy to be anime-free? Dude, same here, but I don't think that's the direction FromSoft is going. I feel like they were going in that direction, like, way more back in Dark Souls 1. And then they slowly gravitated more toward anime, like from 1 to 2 to 3 to obviously Elden Ring, just committed to full anime, you know. But I agree with you. I definitely, like, direction-wise, I think I prefer Dark Souls 1 for the direction of the game itself. I think Dark Souls 1 was better. The dark gothic style. I mean, they're all, like, Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3 are all pretty much dark gothic, really. But you can tell with the way they handle, like, attacks and stuff like that, and their game mechanics, how they were like slowly leaning more and more toward the anime. And Elden Ring, just, you know, they committed to full anime. Might be more anime in Elden Ring than Sekiro. I mean, maybe. Actually, it's true, because since Sekiro barely has any attacks, there's way more anime attacks in Elden Ring just by default. But yeah, I hope FromSoft isn't gonna start making games like fucking Night Rain and Sekiro, where they ditch their character creation and character customization. I always felt like this was one of the biggest appeal to their games, at least for me. Like, the fact that you can make your own character, make your own build. To me, that's one of their biggest strengths, and going away from that, I think, is a disappointment. Is that the NPC? It sure looks... yeah, it is. Ah. This is... can't kill the NPC, they're basically immortal. The amount of health, that shit. There you go, okay, we got the important one. After seeing the builds that casuals make, they have to give them training wheels. I mean, that's a good point. Not so long ago, I got sick and took a 2 weeks, over 2 weeks break, or around 2 weeks break of Elden Ring. And when I came back, I actually found the game to be pretty fun again. Like, taking a break made me enjoy the game more. And then Mungus told me that it wasn't going to last. And he was right. It didn't last because when you take a break, when it's fresh again, it's fun. But then you rediscover the same flaws that made you not like it as much in the first place. And these flaws are so consistently in your face that it doesn't matter if you take a break or not, you're always going to come back to the same conclusion. And to me, it's so many reasons culminating together for that. It's like the fact that you don't have a higher player limit, so you're always by yourself. The fact that you have a buffed focused game where people that have more buffs are at a tremendous advantage. Like, just not having your physic means that you're at least at a 1000 HP deficit over your opposition, because 600 damage comes from the tier, and then the rest of the damage would come from the extra defense that you get, for instance. And you get stuff like Lida, Ash of War, the one we just saw earlier, where it completely debuffs you and makes the fight like completely tilted in the favor of the person who's buffed and the one is, and while the opponent isn't, or vice versa. It's the fact that projected heal exists, you know, that completely tilts fights when that happens. It's also the fact that dueling shield really only has like a few counterplays to it. It's the fact that a complete noob could just spam BathedInBrena with oh, interesting. Could just spam BathedInBrena with the fuck? Are they cheating? Oh my god. Yo, it just left a lock on there. I don't know what's going on. Oh my god, what the fuck? You guys see that? What the fuck? Yo, these people are from the moon! And stuff like that, like input eating, like people that have the worst connection ever fucking created. Like, I'm not gonna get that. There's no way. Like, this guy's net is so ass that he's basically untouchable. Oh my god. Like, just the fact that these people are able to exist, like, within the game is insane. Like, this guy is dog shit, but, I mean, his connection is basically unplayable. Like, this is like Wi-Fi to the fullest. He just hit teammate there. We got our Elden Ring tournament winner right here, though. I'm ducking. Yo, Gold Mask, thanks for the resub, dude. So yeah, like between the input eating, the inconsistencies, losing priority when you attack with most weapons, the crazy lag and latency, the fact that buffs play such a major part in the game and the physics plays such a huge part, yet it's on a 3-minute timer, you can't get it back, no fight clubs. There's so many things that hold this game back so much for me to enjoy it. And every time I take a break, I forget about these things and I start enjoying it again, but it's short-lived because you cannot play this game and exist in this game and be constantly ignoring these things because it's always in your face one way or another. Always. And so it's always going to come back. You could have made Dueling Shield permanently. I mean, genuinely speaking, if you're trying to enjoy the game, I think the best way to go about it is to use something broken like that. Which is why I'm gravitating more and more... Oh, my screen just turned off. Which is why I'm gravitating more and more toward TS. Because at least with TS, I don't have to worry about, like, not being able to deal with something broken. Because TS can pretty much beat everything, you know? I hit that. They need a ping filter at least, like absolute bare minimum, yeah. It's foolish to, wait, one sec. Chat moved too fast. It's foolish to expect to have fun when you're not abusing the same things the gankers abused. I mean, even if you are, though. Just because the player limit is heavily limited in this game. Even if you are, like, using everything at your disposal. If the ganker are using everything at their disposal, you don't really stand a chance. In Dark Souls 3, you can't stand a chance because you're gonna get a teammate. Dude, my fucking screen keeps turning off at random. Like, Jesus Christ, this is... I need a new monitor. This fucking shit has been recurring for years, dude. Loose wire? I think the... it's not the wire, because I remember trying a bunch of wires. Okay. But it must have something to do with the connector. Because, like, my PC never black screens like that, but it's using a, What's the name of that fucking connector? Like, not an HDMI. Oh, I didn't expect him to attack there. Yo, Luvial, thank you so much for the gifted sub to Xenos, and Casual. Really appreciate that. Yeah, DisplayPort, thank you. I don't know why I forgot about DisplayPort. Dude, again, this is nasty. What the fuck? This is crazy. This is crazy, man. Do you think you'd still play PvP if it got even more garbage in later games, or just play other games? I mean, it all depends on how it turns out. But yeah, like Vale said, like, I would play something else if there was a better option, but there's nothing like these games. Like, they're really alone in their genre. Like, it takes a while for other studios to catch up, because they need to experience the success and failures of FromSoft, unfortunately, for them to compete like Lords of the Fallen's doing, you know? Like, they're gonna need to experience some setbacks and everything in between for them to get to FromSoft's level. Yeah, no Souls-like feels like FromSoft. Like, right now, it's not really close, I agree. It's really nothing that can compete with them at the moment that's out there. Yeah, down to the frame data. Yeah, exactly. Like, FromSoft has this way of, like, still respecting this weapon hierarchy where other studios kind of don't understand that. Like, for instance, Lords of the Fallen has these straight swords that are, like, the length of, like, 2 ultra great swords, you know what I mean? And it's like sure, like, I understand power fantasy, you know? Like, devs can do whatever they want, but when you break that line of balance, it gets into the goofy territory, and it just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. You like Ninja Gaiden? I don't give a shit about Ninja Gaiden. FromSoft did that mistake too with Pada. That's actually so true. That is actually true. Yep, that's actually true. LBS there. Oh, no hit there. No hit there, alright. I like this guy's name though. Not sure how that hits, but whatever. Okay. Oh my god, this game. Against people like that, I'm just impatient. Just want to get it over with. You got to admit that Bloodborne is you got Dinah to admit that Bloodborne's a bad game and she only likes it because of nostalgia? Damn. That's nasty. Why do you make her say that? Oh, okay. Bloodborne does have a lot of crippling quality of life issues. I think Bloodborne is just like every other FromSoftware game, in a sense that it does some things really well, some new things really well, and then it goes backward on a lot of other aspects. You know how like they introduced like probably the best weapons we've had, with all the weapon transformation and every weapon like feeling unique and shit. And then the game is just a bunch of like one-shots and shit. It's like you get like range attack that can one-shot you. It's like it gets some things right and some things very wrong. You've seen recently takes where the Bloodborne bosses stink. I mean, I haven't played Bloodborne in forever. I feel like I don't remember how the boss fights were. Yeah, Hack, I've always been to the school of thought that you have to compare games at the time they came out, because if you look at games today, the latest entry for whatever like studio is usually gonna still be overall better, just because of like quality of life stuff, like different decisions, like a bunch of things. Like basically Elden Ring is worse in so many aspects than Dark Souls 3, but jumping, crouching, having different types of running attack, like you can't overlook that stuff not being present in other games, because you feel the weapons being so one-dimensional in other Souls game compared to Elden Ring. Even though the other games did other things better, you know? That's how I see it. It's like overall, you have to compare them at the time they came out. Otherwise, it's not a fair comparison. And it's the same thing with like graphics, you know? Like if you compare a game's graphics... Oh, fuck. Whoa. Yeah, we're not invisible, because... Oh, I wasn't sure that was going to connect. Oh my god, that's the NPC? That's so funny. NPC came in there and killed the host. How well does an arcane build runs at 125? At 125, it runs pretty well, dude. There's some nasty ass arcane weapons and arcane setups. Like, you have the longest great spears. You have the fucking poison hand that you can rock. These things on the right build are fucking nasty, man. Nasty, I tell you. I have a build still that's like an arcane build. I think it's our... Actually, I don't know if I respect it, but at some point we had a build that was our like legit build where we beat the DLC with, and we beat like, we leveled up while invading. And that build at some point was an arcane build. And we were still like invading with them and finding the same amount of success as like this build right here, basically, with just, you know, no duped items or anything like that, but purely out of playing at 125 arcane build. Arcane has some really good options. And for invasion, especially because of the burst damage. Like the fact that you can get like 3 hits and the opponent like is not going to heal because they're still like over half their HP. But whoops, the fourth hit kills them because you get that 4 hit and you get the bleed proc. It's that little aspect there that makes a big difference. It's like you get 3 hits in, they don't heal because they're not low, but their bleed meter is high, and the next hit would still kill them. That happens a lot. That's why I really like this warp tax here for a lot of situation, because Ender makes you like, you know, you Ender to trade with people, and they don't necessarily realize in the midst of like trading where the danger is for them. Like, okay, can they resist 1, 2, 3 hits? Like in the heat of the moment, it's hard to assess when the bleed bar and when the HP bar both together is going to make you die, basically. When you're in the midst of trading. If you take your time noticing it, obviously it's very easy to notice, but generally speaking, you get a lot of kills with people that don't expect to die right away. I think this guy gave up. Catch Flame's the best spell in the game. Well, it's definitely my favorite. I wouldn't say the best, but I really like Catch Flame. But it's a very good spell for 1v1, though, that's for sure. But Catch Flame is not a spell that does the work by itself like many other spells do. Like, you know, like, you know, like these new DLC magic spells that, like, do a big aura. Or like Star Shower that basically does all the work for you. Like, you have nothing to do, really. You just spam that shit and it's guaranteed 100% to catch your opponents. Like, with Catch Flame, you have to be in range and you have to land it. It's a very good attack, though, but you still have to do a little work for it. Unlike Star Shower, where you just spam that shit and, you know, damage is gonna add up. Or like Dragon Breath, where in a lot of situations, the Dragon Breath is actually a guaranteed kill. Like from start to finish, which is insane. Yeah, Bear Roar, pretty ridiculous as well. Insane pivot. Wow, I tanked the fucking Moonlight. Alright. The damage on the Sword Lance is completely ridiculous. 1500 damage for one attack landed. That is insane. That's just insane. Dude, 1500 damage. Oh yeah, there's a bunch of spells like that that basically like do all the work for you. Like Bear Roar is one of them. Bear Roar, Dragon Breath, fucking what else is there? Oh yeah, Gravitational Missile. You can really get guaranteed hits with Gravitational Missile if you pair it with like anything. It's like you play Gravitational Missile in any sort of room where there's borders and it's not like infinite terrain to run away. You get guaranteed hits with Gravitational Missile. Because it just keeps on attacking. And you can create frame traps with that. And you don't really need to do anything. Can hear them. There you go. 1600 for one hit. That's crazy, man. That is crazy. 1600 twice for just one R2. It's insane. Almost 3 years in. Oh, it's not changing anymore, hack. Like, like the game is not changing. This is the game this is the game we got. This is the game we get. It's not changing now. Now it's time to embrace all the broken shit. Like, now it's time to play with all the dumb shit that we didn't want to play with because we were hoping this would get patched. Like, now it's over. Get ready, guys, for the future era of fucking reaction trading, swapping to blind spot that just counters like 99% of shit in the game. Just wait for that. The blind spot uber meta is coming, guys. Trust me. Oh wow, good spawn. Use it yourself at that point. Oh yeah, for sure. At some point I'm gonna make when I remake my inventory, I'm not gonna hold punches. Like, I'm gonna have all the broken ass crap ready to be used. And then you're gonna have like ladder players that come in here to complain about what I'm using. Like it actually happens in so many YouTube vids. 1400 one R2. Careful. Okay, well. Bro, stop. Let's just bubble up then. How dare you? How dare you parry someone? That's banned on ladder. How dare you? No, parry is definitely not one of the most skillful thing, but I think it's kind of foolish to like not allow parries. I understand though, like maybe disallowing Misericord Dagger because of the insane crit that basically ends fight in like one shot. Maybe that's not something people want to deal with. I can understand that. But banning parries altogether, that's just sad. Did they go back in? Teammate. Okay, he's far. Ah, well. I mean, teammate was far, but he went back. It was a good sacrifice. I tried to not hit him, but like I heard and saw like the little special effect for his blue juice like through the wall, and he was out of range at that point. But by the time I did the Ash of War, he went back in there, unfortunately. I understand the logic, Steel, like, I understand that. It's just, to me, I feel like it's silly to, like, make these sets of rules that stray so far away from the base game. Like, at that point, it's like you're playing a subset of a game within the game, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, for anyone from the outside, it's ridiculous. Like, at that point, like, you're banning a mechanic that's been, like, in every Souls game to date. Like, that's just ridiculous. Even though I don't particularly like this mechanic in this game, because I feel like parrying is indeed pretty risk-free. I think that's just silly to ban it altogether. But again, I mean, they can do whatever they want, like, you know? It's their way of playing the game. They do what they want, especially on PC, since on top of that they're playing a mod of the game, so like, you know, more power to them. It's not actually playing the game, they're playing a mod in the first place, so the fact that they make special rule set for their mod, sure, why not? But like when I see people come in my fucking YouTube vids where I'm actually playing the actual game, like saying, oh yeah, you know, this and this, you know, well, it's not allowed on ladder or shit like that. Get the fuck out of here, you fucking scrub. Like, what kind of idiots follow ladder rules outside of whatever specific subset of organized event that they do? Like, you need to be like really disconnected to think that people should abide to these arbitrary fucking rules made by a lot of people. Quite frankly, I'm not sure they understand the game that well. Interesting. There we go. Like good old B-dubs would have said, stay in your lane, bro. That's what I would say to people like that. Stay in your lane. Don't bother me. No, it's not like banning backstab in Dark Souls, because Dark Souls 1 is really all about backstabs. Like, Elden Ring is not about parries. Definitely not. Like, if FromSoftware was to make a Souls game without parries, like, aside from the casuals on Reddit who would make a big fuss about it, it wouldn't really change all that much, to be honest. Like, you still have to get this straight. Like, parries are not an integral part of this game. It's just silly to overlook a complete mechanic, that's all. Like, for instance, a big a big instance where parry plays a big role. Shields. Like, if you have to face a shield that has parry, or that can parry, it's a big difference between fighting a shield that can parry and fighting a shield that can't parry. Because a shield that can't parry, you can aggress way more, like, scot-free. But a shield that can parry, you can't just spam running attacks at it and spam R1s against it, because they will be able to set up parry. So that's a big difference in matchup that completely changes the way the game is played. So when you're disallowing parries, you're just completely looking over one of the key aspects in a lot of matchups. Not saying that 50-50 is necessarily that skillful. I mean, it's never been, but it's still part of the game as far as I'm concerned. .99 Vigor does feel great on Invasion build for the extra survivability. Yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that. Although, my counterpoint is that if you actually use your brain and just stop at 60, you know, just put point into, you know, making the build more rounded, then you're gonna do way more damage than if you were to put these points to reach 99 Vigor. Like, if you just stop at 60 and you go with, like, some Fate or whatever, then you can use, like, some strength weapon with Fate, or maybe even, what level can you reach with 99 Vigor, guys? How many points is that? Let's say 60 to 99. Well, it's like 39 levels, so let's say I put 39 levels into my build. I mean, you can get a lot of things done with 39 extra levels. We're gonna change your inventory for broken stuff. What in particular? Oh, I mean, just wait for it. I have plenty of ideas. It's not gonna be pretty. Oh, I already have bone bow. Like, I'm already using a lot of broken stuff. Like, I'm using TS a lot. Like, right now, as we speak, I'm using Sword Lance, which is one of the strongest invasion weapon because you actually get 1600 damage sometimes on 1 or 2. You could increase mind. You have to spam more. That's true. Light roll backhand blade is the new rotten group glass cannon. Yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that. Nice hat. Do they make them for men? Aww. There you go. Mind counter sleep, truly underrated. I think I've seen that somewhere X too, like unironically. I think I read that somewhere in the YouTube comments. Did you install Orim? I did not. Didn't have time. I have a bunch of shit to do these days, man. I'm actually so busy. I'm gonna be busy for like probably like another month. Like really busy. Oh. Okay, let's just back up a bit. Let's reset that. You prefer to manually pick and choose your mods? I can absolutely see that. I wouldn't be interested in downloading Lorem if it wasn't for Vale like selling me on it. Like Vale convinced me to try it. I just need to put some time to actually download it. I mean, it's still It's still gonna be a time commitment because I think this shit is like 500 gigabytes. So it's like you're gonna need to put some time aside to get that shit installed and everything. Like just the sheer amount of time to download this thing and install it. Like that's gonna be like a day of work most likely. Amateur. Did he DC? No, okay. You manually clicked all 4,000 mods? No way you did. Are you serious? No way you did. I don't believe it. No way, you're joking, are you? Are you fucking serious? Why did you do that? Isn't it supposed to be like an auto install? It took 4 days? Bro, I don't have 4 days for that shit. It is if you have premium. I do have premium. Wait, so you did that just because you did not want to buy premium on Nexus? Is this true? Oh my fucking god, bro. That is such a Veil thing. Holy shit. So you clicked on 4,000 mods because because you didn't have the like the auto install option. That is insane. Okay, well. Oh, that's unfortunate. $10 versus 4 times 8 hours of work. Yeah, the math doesn't add up. It wasn't 4 days of clicking straight. Clicking straight was like 2 days, maybe. You're crazy, dude. What the fuck? Yeah, I know, right? Still, this is such a Veil thing to do. Like, that's crazy, though. That is crazy. Ain't giving a dime to Big Nexus, dude. Yo, Steel, now that I think about it, I forgot that, I don't know, did I message you about that or no? I mean, you tell me. I actually discovered recently that you can batch render vids on Vegas. Like, you can actually, like, set up a script. It's like, I mean, you don't need to download anything. It's, like, built within Vegas. And you can, like, just render a bunch of vids, like, all, like, back-to-back without having to like, click to render them yourself one by one. And you probably knew about that, but I discovered that recently. Let's just see, make sure. We didn't talk about it? Okay, I'll message you afterward. Okay, so you didn't know. I'll show you how to do it. It has, like, one inconvenient. It's that you can't name the vids prior to... At least not that I know of. You can't name the vids prior to rendering them. But you can do it afterward. We almost had him. They both have an ultra, so we can go about this two ways. Either we go the TS route or the ultra route. This is a little too dangerous for my taste. Oh, that's perfect. Okay, that's one free kill. They're both using the same ash. I mean, that ash kind of destroys PvE, so... I can't imagine, like, two of them spamming that shit. It must work. Speaking of rendering, you should totally buy the 5090 because it has better encoder now. Yeah, I want to see some numbers about that. I'm actually curious, but... if I ever get a 5090, guys... I looked it up already. I am undervolting that shit. Like, apparently... because I've looked up, like a few reviews already, and apparently, like, let's say you get, like, 30% extra performance in your games, like with a 5090 over a 4090. Well, you actually, it costs you, like, 30% more watts, or around that. So it doesn't, like, the extra performance you get is actually very closely related to the extra amount of powers this shit actually is gonna suck. So, what you can do is you can, like, undervolt it just a little bit, and you can reach, let's say, the same amount of power consumption than the 4090, but you're gonna get, like, let's say, a 25% extra performance as opposed to 30%, but it's gonna suck in the same amount of power as a 4090, so it's still a more efficient card than the 4090 if you undervolt it so that it doesn't suck in max power. Because basically the way they sell it stock now is basically as if this shit was overclocked. You know what I mean? So if you were to overclock a 5090, you get nothing out of it. Like, no really extra performance, like 1 or 2 FPS, something stupid like that. Because it's already technically overclocked, but if you undervolt it, you get way more efficiency out of it. 30% faster for 30% more power. That's exactly what you pay for. It's pretty crazy. I think the channel that I saw that talked about undervolting was Techias City, something like that. I hope I'm not confusing it with another one. There's also another one that's called Devour. A German guy, really good as well. I think this one limits the power, doesn't undervolt it, but limits the power that the card has access to, and you can get all the way down to 70% with it, and you get basically more efficiency out of it. I thought that was interesting. I don't intend to get a 50-90, just to be clear, but you know, I always like to see like what's up with the latest tech, you know? It's always interesting. What do you think about AMD cards? I don't know, they're not out yet. This spot, eh? Oh! Big guy's waiting here. Perfect. It's gonna be a line of defense, so to speak. Oh, it's these again. Well. That's some crazy damage. Rare running R2. Sometimes I dabble. This wasn't on accident. At least this one. Usually they're on accident. This one wasn't. Sometimes I just banked on the fact that I don't think they have enough poise to tank it. This guy actually did have enough poise to tank it, but he panic rolled it, so it doesn't matter. But when you're fighting people with low poise, sometimes you can get away with just doing a running R2 and catching them with the little doo-doo poise damage, like comboing into the full thing. It's really only worth it against people with low poise. Oh, there they are. Oh, come on. Where's the other guy? Oh, there he is. This guy's... What the fuck? It ate the input. Oh, he's lagging too. Comboed, insane. This guy does an insane amount of damage. Okay, we take that. That's enough. Oh, I thought we got aim punch there. I mean, we did, but we still hit the target. $80k runes. Yeah, you could tell this guy was hella over leveled just by the sheer amount of damage he was doing. Defend Pope Turtle at all costs. I was trying to bait them to attack it. That's why I was going behind it from time to time. I hope the next AMD cards perform like super well. It's always way better for everyone when the competition is stiff, you know? Doesn't matter if you like or dislike NVIDIA. It's just better for you to... It's better for you for Intel, AMD, and NVIDIA to all be competitive. Unfortunately, though, NVIDIA is kind of a few strides ahead of everyone. Now that FrameGen is out of the way, though, I'm excited to see what is the next feature that NVIDIA is going to bring, because they always introduce like a new feature. Now that we got FrameGen and then multi-FrameGen out of the way so we don't have to be bothered about that again, I wonder what their next thing is going to introduce. Like, it's probably going to be some AI accelerator, some capacity shaper form, or AI enhanced visuals. I'm very curious. I hope it's something good. What's crazy is I probably would still have like a 3070 if I didn't get a 4090 as a gift. Because I didn't buy that myself. So happy about it though. Like it honestly, like the difference between my old 3070 and the 4090 was completely insane. It changes the work that you can do. That's how crazy it is. Like, it changes your productivity. Because the jump in performance is so high that you can do things that you couldn't do before, basically. Yeah, upgrade every 3 gen does seem reasonable. I agree with you. Although... 3 gen, like, if you can, like, more power to you if you can hold off for 3 generation, like, genuinely, like, more power to you. But it's tough to hold off for 3 generation. Like, if you use your PC for productivity, not just gaming, I think the way I see it, for me, it's like you have to skip 1 gen and then buy the next one. Otherwise, you're gonna lose on too much productivity. That's how I see it. Yeah, I think X2, I think that's fair. Like, if you're, like, for instance, if you have, like, a 30-90, you're definitely still good, you know? Is this guy gonna get eaten by the bear? This is captivating. I'm rooting for the bear, of course. Wow, he just healed on him. He's having trouble getting an L2 in there. Bear's on the roll right now. Somehow the host is managing to get hit by every single attack while missing most of his. Oh, he's getting a good few hits in. Another heal in there. But the belly slam takes half of his HP. Hitbox porn saves the host there for a second. Ooh, heavy slam. He's in one-shot range. Okay, he's in his belly. Good positioning by the host there by accident, but still works out. Bear is probably low right now. And the host takes it. Since he's using a katana, let's use a katana as well. Where were you? Your teammate needed you. What the fuck was that? It's fucking Bulgoat fingerprint guy just coming in there. What the fuck? Yo, baby turtle. Baby turtle, my girlfriend showed me a vid that when I saw it, I immediately thought of you. It's a new turtle video that I have to show you. One sec. We're gonna find it. Give me one sec. One second here. We're gonna find this. And it's not exactly the one I'm looking for, but I found it. At least I found the channel. Oh, there's numbers at the end of it. That's perfect, I found it. Okay. Well, I hope you guys are ready. It's time. There you go. Hope you guys enjoyed. Baby Turtle, that was for you, though. That was all for you, man. We're still thinking about you even off stream. Would you mind linking this in chat? Yeah, one sec. Actually, I have it here. The thing you have to write on YouTube is like ASMR, mukbang, turtle. But I have the link. Give me one sec. There you go. Your turtle eats exactly like that? It's fun to watch? Oh my god. That's crazy. Okay, so the host is around here, but we don't know where. Usually when you don't know where the host is... There you go, like that. You know, it gets them out. Interesting. This invader was an amateur. They were right under his nose. He didn't think about checking every corner. He was going for like other floors right away. Yo, what's up, B-Dubs? How you doing, man? You just missed the fucking... the turtle ASMR vid. Like, just like a minute ago. You think that the one in the vid is a tortoise because it looks like yours? I still don't know the difference between the two. You're at work? Alright, well. This would have been entertaining, I promise. I think people still have it in chat, though. Oh, we got a friend. There you go. All right. I'm lat. Elevation moment. It's gonna heal. Heal and draft it into eel. I think he's going for the elevator eel. Oh. All of this just for that. Crazy. Oh, and he had a teammate too. Insane. Huddled Venus. Thanks for the resub for 8 months, man. And Nato, thanks for the resub for 10 months, dude. I appreciate that as well. I didn't see it. I think, oh wow, it was an hour ago. Sorry, I'm a bit late. Huddled Venus is such a goated name. Yeah. It's every time I read his name, I'm always thinking of like some Harry Potter like magic item that you find in a shop. Like actual bottled penis that you'd find in a Harry Potter movie. I feel like that would be called like bottled penis too. Hey! Where are they? I can hear them though. Well, only one way to find out. Oh! My man here in a cave. Bro, who put you in there? My man here inside the cage. What the fuck? That's crazy. I didn't see him at first. Who put him in there? Speaking of pot-old Venus. You did it to him? Yeah, I believe it. People in the Harry Potter world gotta be freaky as hell. Bro, with the magic, you don't understand, like, how much fucked up, like, twisted stuff happens in the Harry Potter world. They don't really talk about it in the book, but... You know, magic isn't always a good thing. Yo, Mozzarella, thanks for the bits, man. One thing they don't tell you in Harry Potter is magic doesn't change human nature. Alright, I'm sorry guys, I understand that I got all of you horny, but that was not the play originally. It's just Puddle Venus coming in chat. I know it's hard to handle him coming in here, like he has a strong presence, but try to keep it together, guys. I feel like I heard the tongue turning off. Not sure if we're on the right floor. Okay, let's go here. I feel like the host is on the first floor somewhere. Sorry. Okay, this is a difficult jump. Oh, we got it really well. I don't know, I'm thinking here maybe? Actually, it says pretty much the other side. Yeah. At least we have some PvE to back up to if we need to. Here. Let's try to find the exact angle. Oof. Like it looks closer to this, like here even. No, over there. Let's see from the outside. Okay, well, guys, I don't know where he was. Probably down still. Maybe the dueling spot? No, it didn't line up with the dueling spot. He was hiding somewhere. Could have been on another floor completely. That was probably the case. Another good fight. Hey, here we go. Insane desync. That was cute. Good fight. Sword lance moment. Man, sword lance really does make invasions like so much easier. No wonder a lot of tournaments I saw, like after the DLC were won by sword lance. That shit's so brutal. It does so much damage. Yo, Matador, thanks for the bits, man. Thank you, guys. What Marco made me realize the other day that I didn't think about was we went full circle with HTS in this game. We started with heavy thrusting sword, like jumping R1 into R1 combo. Then it got nerfed, and then we went full circle with fucking hype armor into R1 combo now. So it was a it was dealing too much damage at the beginning because you got a combo off the jump R1. But they gave another combo in the end with the R2 into R1. Pretty crazy. Elden Ring moment, guys. There you go. Climbing strike complements sword lance bat tracking. Does it have bat tracking? I feel like you can turn so much with this thing. You definitely need to free aim with it, but the tracking is really not that bad. Like with every HTS, you can, like if you lock on it, attacks like diagonally upward, but if you aim down a little, you get more range out of it. It also has the funny double hit. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, just randomly take double damage from jump attacks. True. We invaded this guy at the very start of the stream, and he did not fight. He gave up when I got near him. So maybe we're going full circle here. Wait. It says he's close. Guys, oh my god. Guys, I think he's actually like under us, like 20 stories under us. Oh my god. Oh my fucking spawn, dude. Holy shit. You can see him! You can see him! Oh my god, the spawn, dude. The fucking spawn. Insane. I should not have respawned. I should, just for the sake of limit testing, I should have tried to walk that distance. Hopefully the spawn roulette gives us like 3 bad spawns so that we actually have to walk this. Oh, okay, we got the good spawn. Like, low-key, I wanted to spawn, like, super far so that we have to walk this just because it's so absurd. It would have given me another reason to make fun of Elden Ring. Oh wow, that reached. Alright. Nice, alright. He does no damage because it's a bleed build. Oh, also, I just realized to tank this, I need this. No, no follow-up. Out of range. I mean, that's a BS where I'm from, but... You had a spawn last night where you were put in consecrated snowfield and the host and the phantom were at the freezing lake fighting the ice dragon. 2 separate areas in the map. That's crazy. Oh boy. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna call it here. I have some important things to do tonight that I need to do this week. So I'm gonna call it here for today. Thanks everyone for coming by stream. Pretty chill little stream tonight. I'm streaming more often these days. I'm gonna try to stream more regularly, like every 2 days or so, at least. So I'll catch you guys up later. Alright, take care guys. Have a good rest of the night.